Hello, yeah, this video is kinda outdated and it is not very correct. There's a couple of mistakes as well. This is the shorter version. In the description there's sort of the original version with all of those long awkward pauses and mistakes. Except the last 5 minutes, I removed them because they were not needed. Enjoy, I guess. The first thing you do, set the CD-ROM to be the first bootable device or whatever you're using. This is done by going to the BIOS and changing the settings there. Some of the older computers which I have don't have the BIOS menu that much smart, I guess you can say. So usually I set the CD-ROM drive as master and hard drive as slave. That usually fixes the problem. Now you should boot up on the CD-ROM. Please wait. Windows 95D is pretty cool because it actually has the boot disk built in, which is very nice. So you do not need the floppy drive as a boot disk. What I usually do, the first thing which I usually do is type in Fdisk to configure the partitions. I want to enable the large disk support. If you have hard drive larger than 512 megabytes, press yes. Now you have three options. First one is create DOS partition or logical DOS drive, in case you want to make a new DOS partition. Second is set active partition. Third is if you want to delete some partition or logical DOS drive. And fourth option is display partition information. So I'm going to select the fourth option because I want to see what kind of partition I have. As you can see, I have NTFS partition, so I'm going to remove it. So I choose the third option. So right now we have four options. First one is the primary DOS partition. Primary partition is the one where you have your OS installed, as usually. The extended one is for like a second partition, I don't know, maybe for games or whatever. And the third one is logical DOS drives inside of the extended DOS partitions. And the fourth one is delete non-DOS partition, which is usually NTFS. So I'm going to select the fourth option because I want to delete NTFS partition. Now it's going to ask you which one you want to delete, and I have only one, so I'm going to press 1. And now it's going to ask me if I want to continue. I press Y if I want to. So now we are going to create DOS partition. I going to press 1. Now we have three options. Create primary DOS partition, create extended DOS partition, and third is create logical DOS drives in the extended DOS partition. If you want multiple partitions, first make a primary one, then you can make the extended DOS partition. But I'm going with only one partition, so I'm just going to click first option, which is create primary DOS partition. Now it's going to verify drive integrity. You have to wait for a bit. Now it's going to ask you if you want to use maximum able size for the primary DOS partition. If you are going to use multiple partitions, press no. But if you are going with just one, press yes. Now you must restart your computer. But hang on for a bit. Now if you don't want multiple partitions, skip this. But I'm also going to show you how to make multiple ones. Now the first thing you must do is create the DOS partition. Then you are going to create a primary DOS partition. Now it's going to ask you if you want to use the maximum size. Press no. Now it's going to ask you what kind of size you want to use. I only have 2 gigabytes, so I'm just going to use 1.2 gigabytes. There we go. Now I'm going to make an extended DOS partition. As you can see, it's going to ask what kind of size do we want. I'm going to use the remaining 800 megabytes. And as you can see, we have another. Now I'm going to make a logical DOS drive, which I want to be the same size. So now I will press enter. And there we go. Now we must restart computer. Now we're gonna format the C drive. Type in command format C, and now it's going to ask if you want to format it. Possibly format yes. Now it's going to ask for the volume label. I usually type nothing, but you can type, I don't know, whatever you want. Now I recommend once again rebooting your computer, but now type in D with 2 dots, press enter and type in setup. Now it's going to you to scan this check. It might take a bit. If you made it this far, congratulations. Now just click continue and now it will load. Might take a bit. Now you are getting this licensing agreement. You must read it and you must press yes. If you press no, you will be sent to the asbestos mine. Now this is important. Choose the custom option. I will tell you why later. And now it's going to ask you for a name. Fill in whatever you want. Now it's going to analyze your computer for what kind of hardware you have. Press next. Now you must choose what kind of hardware to look for. Like example, we have sound and network cards. And now it's going to load them up. Be sure to disable Windows messaging, because for some reason it caused an error. This is the network configuration, although I'm not going to do anything on it network related, so I'm going to skip it for. If you want to start up disk, press yes. If you do not want to, no. In case you want to start up disk, take out your floppy disk and put it in, and it will write to it. But it's kind of useless anyway, so yeah. Just click next, and it will show a bunch of information. I can't show it here because the video will be too long. So yeah. Congratulations. It is almost done. Now you will have to reboot your computer. While you are rebooting it, I recommend that you remove the CD for a bit, or go to BIOS and disable booting from the CD drive, because it will always try to boot into the boot disk, which you know is annoying. Now you must wait for a bit. It will just do some checks and whatever. Just wait. Now it's going to ask you about the time zone and to put in date and time. Just click the down arrow, something like this. Just slide it around, and there we go. You have your time zones. I'm for Europe, so I'm going with that one. Press apply, and now you can get OK out of it. Now it's going to ask about printers. I have no printers, so I'm just going to skip this. Now it's going to ask you to restart. Just press OK. Now don't be scared, I don't know why. Windows Memphis shows up. Apparently some things were used for Memphis as well. But don't worry, this will be fixed after reboot. Now it's going to ask you to install drivers. Feel free to remove the CD and put it into CD with your drivers. But then when you are finished, put it back. Yeah, pretty much done now. Pretty much just once again ask you to install some drivers or whatever, but now it is done. Now get ready for the first boot up.
Check airspeed.
Congratulations, it is finished. Now you can do whatever you want. Perhaps install drivers, install games. You are done now. Now this is completely optional, and it is not required for the install, but it is copying caps. Copying the caps over from the CD can be pretty useful in some cases. Almost every time when you are installing a driver, Windows 98 might ask you for the CD-ROM for the caps, or Windows 95. Another thing is this is very useful if you copy them. It is recommended that you copy them before install, which is pretty good. Caps are mostly useful also because sometimes during install, when Windows goes dump, when it cannot find, and it is also useful when, I don't know, some file become cropped, so you can re-add them back with the caps. Although I actually never got this happening to me out of all the years I've been using old Windows OSs, unless I deleted them on purpose. So now the thing is, I don't recommend doing this my way, because I did not research this enough. I think it's kinda late now, I'm sorry. Thing is, I could not get it to work. It would only copy 1 or 0 cabs. So if someone knows, please leave it in the comments. I will pin it so no people will know. So I used to comment. The MD stands for make directory, which this is what you do after you formatted the hard drive. So mdc/windows, and mdc/windows options, and then mdc/windows/options/cabs, because that's the default option where Windows looks. Then here's the second comment, which is copy d/, or in some cases it can be a e. As I told you before, check it out, check it. And then *.cab*. I believe those mean that I will only copy files with the cab. Then add in your output, which is the one which you created, which is c/windows/options/cabs. And now it should copy, although for me it only copied one file. I don't know why. So that's why I'm asking some of you that know how to do this shit to type it in comments, since I'm not really experienced with MS-DOS. If you made the directory, Windows might change it to cwindows.000. Go to the node directory and change it back to cwindows. It will ask you that it already exists. And if you want to rewrite it, just click OK. I think that Windows 95D is very useful for newer computers, like computers beyond, I don't know, 1998. I still think that Windows 98 is a bit better, but if you don't like Windows 98 and want Windows 95 on your rig, give Windows 95D a try. Windows 95D, as before told, comes with a lot of patches, which makes the experience on newer computers much better, because Windows 95 by default does not even have a support for AGP slots. Also, you can have partitions larger than 2 GB now, which is pretty cool. Also, it has 2D pinball space cadet. Also, Windows 95D breaks the 480 MB of RAM barrier, so you can have around 3.5 GB of RAM actually, which is pretty cool. And quite some useful utilities as well. Also, most of these patches can be applied on Windows 98 or 95 manually. There were a few problems, but I was able to fix them easily. And the problems which I had, I was able to fix, sort of. So that's about it though. Rest of the features are listed in the setup copying process or on the screen as you see right now. But if it's too fast for you, then you can go to the description to watch the original Vlare video where this setup copying process is slowed down. Or if that's also not enough for you, then just download the ISO and watch it yourself. I don't know, whatever.
You've come. I mean, I knew you would come, but you've come.
I have come.